All right, what's up, everybody? You on deck with Third Eye Cam, me. Today's date, January 27, 2022, and the time is 3:48, 15:48 for my military. All right, so I guess I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all some details, not specifics, but the general broads of what happened to me January 23rd, 2022, around about 7:30 p.m. So I had to come and get me some Boj. That's my place. And there's a reason for that today. All right, so last time we talked, I did my little videos. I normally every few days do a video, whatever topic I run into or something that I might catch in the sky. I'll talk about it. To give you just basic information on me, most of y'all hear me speak proudly about how I was a Marine. Even on bad days, I took that to seriously. I had to put my shades on until I get to where I need to get to. Eyes are sensitive. So I the reason why I boast on being a Marine, because like I went there, got trained, and I volunteered for the training. The martial arts, learning how to shoot weapons. The thing was, the reason why I went to the Marines, I had to deal with when I was in college. I had cornrows, earrings. Being a young guy in my 20s, wanted to experience that, and I'm glad I experienced that to get it out of my system. But I had these two Caucasian cops that used to chase me around. Whenever they see me, they pull me over looking for drugs. They thought I was a drug dealer. Young guy just trying to make his way. What I was a DJ, and I was a college student. So I made money by cutting hair and DJing for like the fraternities and the sororities and other groups and factions. So the last time they pulled me over, they set me on the curb, handcuffed me, and I had washed my clothes on Sunday, because I had classes that Monday, and they handcuffed me, and the neighbors, I was like literally 0.1 miles from my house, my apartment at the time, and the neighbors were like, yeah, he's not a drug dealer, he doesn't do that. And when they couldn't find any drugs, they poured bleach all over my newly washed clothes, and I had some nice clothes. There's a reason why I don't like wear fancy clothes. When I did, and I rarely don't like attention, when I did wear fancy clothes, like the nice jeans, the nice shirts. Back then in the 90s, we was always in jeans and t-shirts. That's before I started going into my necktie and polo wearing. I went through my t-shirt phase. So they poured bleach all over my nice clothes, and my shoes, I had some Timberlands, and they bleached everything, messed it up. So that pissed me off. And I said, you know what? And I'm from North Carolina, so it was in North Carolina. And they were being funny. They wanted to provoke me, and that really gave me a sour note with the policemen. Now, I admire the good policemen for doing their jobs. Crack my windows real quick. I had some Bojangles, so I'd like to get the smell out. After I eat, I don't want to smell it, like, just around me. That, So, I'm gonna take my truck further back around here, away from kind of civil. I'm going out to my spot where I always look up at the sky, that we catch all the action. So the policemen at that time made me so mad, and unfortunately they were Caucasian men. They were fresh out of their boot camp, and they wanted to exercise their little whatever was going on in their head to irritate people like me. So that made me aware, and it was a good wake-up call for me. All right, so that was at 24. All right, so I go through my whole military, become a Marine, get away from civilian life. I'll put it right here, face me away from the sun. That way y'all can see me. I become a Marine so I can get away from civilian life, because I realized, like, just to be a standard person in America. And at that time, I was still building my skills. I was a young guy. You can see all the gray on me now. I've earned my right. And a lot of guys don't make it to my age. That's my complexion. A lot of them get caught up in the system, chasing drugs, alcohol, just illegal stuff, just stupid stuff, But I avoided all that. And I was like, if I'm gonna party, I'm gonna party right. If I'm gonna earn money, I'm gonna do it right. I gave myself that option. I could have did anything. I could have dropped this mirror. The sun is trying to creep up in here on me. So the thing was, I knew that I had to give up a lot to get a better me back. And I already wasn't a bad guy. My parents were awesome, are awesome. My daddy was Army, so I lived by his strict Army rules. So big up to the Army for that. Even though I was a Marine, I learned things the Army way. And I wasn't a bad kid. And I'm from the South. You know, you mind your parents, you go to church. He lived in a house with a big yard. I had to rake the yard in the winter, get the leaves up by hand, by rake, no lawnmower, none of that, suck it up. And in the summertime, I had to cut the grass. And it got to the point, me, because I'm a clean freak, that, and I'm the last born, there's my older brother, my sister, and then me. So by the time I came up in age, by the time I hit my teenage years, I was more than happy to help my father go, move stuff around the yard. And we did that a lot. That was our bonding. And not only that, my grandfather, when I was a kid in my single digits, he had a farm. So as a kid, at 3 and 4 years old, y'all, I had machetes cropping tobacco. And that's normal for the South. And that's something that I pridefully take with me. And as even like in my single digits, like 9 and 10, I was able to drive my grandfather's tractor and plow the field. So they structured me from where we came from. So by the time I got to my teenage years, I was naive to drugs. I knew what marijuana was. Didn't really care for it. It stank. With a child who I had a severe sweet tooth, so I wanted to only smell things that smelled good. Even my father had liquor and beer. You know how like kids go sample something, and it wasn't my parents' fault. We knew that stuff was there. We didn't care for it. My high back then as a kid was Transformers and space movies. I'm one of them guys, and my parents were fortunate to have like a closet full of dictionaries and thesauruses on history, and I always jumped into that stuff, which fascinated me. So then I was always fascinated with the sky too. So the reason why I'm saying that is my parents set me up for a good structure, but I also paid attention. Nobody had to make me. Of course, I got bad grades in school. That's when I stopped caring. I went through depressions, but I didn't understand that situation, and I grew up. But now we're going to fast forward to a couple of days ago. So Friday night, I Ubered 12 hours. I normally don't do that. Once I get away from school, and I know that people club on the weekends, on Fridays and Saturdays, I'll pull 12 hours of Uber. That's good money. Sundays are optional. But this Sunday, football was on, so I got a big old 70-inch TV, and I like to watch my sports. I watch news and sports, and of course my movies. So around about 7 o'clock, I always like to step out my house late to go to like Walmart. I like to walk through Walmart because it calms me down, or Target, or the mall if it's open. Those are the only 3 places I go. And I'm also at the gym, but I haven't lifted any weights because of the pandemic. So I try to do it at home. So I go to Walmart. I'll take a 20-something minute drive to Walmart, which I bypass my Walmart and another Walmart to go to this one because it has certain things that these other two don't. So I was like, okay, I'll go out and I'm coming home. And my thing is, I don't like to go out on the weekends because people get real ridiculous. And I'm always aware, like I literally have become a monk since being out the military. Because if I'm not with my Marines or no disciplined military people, let me say that again. If I'm not with my Marines or any disciplined people who all have the same thought process as me, and we're not going out to beat nobody, destroy nobody's life, but we are defenders. And mind you, I've been to war, so I know what that feels like to protect people, and I hate bullies. I freaking hate bullies. That's another thing that put me in the military. I beat up a bunch of bullies in my childhood, high school, middle school, high school. I had a few in college, but the good thing about college is that since we take boxing, I would invite them to the dojo. So we wouldn't beat each other on the street. I'm like, hey, this is box. You so tough, let's do it. And they'd be like, yeah. And then we beat each other, and then we became friends. You know what I mean? So that's cool. Thought it was something on my phone. All right, so now I'm back in civilian life. And my whole military thing is done. I put some time in that, y'all. Been to war. I did what Uncle Sam asked me to do. Just like my father before me. We joined the ranks. We went to protect this country so that y'all could drive around, do your little habits, cause your little problems, and be spoiled little brats. And that's not to all of y'all, just the ones that take advantage of the system to go do your little dumb drugs. No, I'm talking about the heavy stuff. I mean, just we understand how America was made. So certain things that our ancestors got to do that were medicinal for medical purposes have been deemed illegal. Some that's being made available to us. And unfortunately, because a lot of people in America are under pressure and life is hard, you got not only the government taking money from you and all these small factions, you got to deal with your work job taxing you, state and federal. After you don't work and slave over your dollars, all you want to do is make money and go kick back. You know, whether you're going to do drugs or not, you just want to kick back. So all this puts pressure on people. And my thing from looking at people, especially since I've been out, especially, and this has been happening since before I was born, but it's gotten crazier since I've grown up through my life. A lot of people do drugs purposely to ease that pressure off of them. People don't go do drugs just because they want to. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the feeling feels good to get high, but they do it because they're under pressure. Their minds are weaker. Y'all got that right? They have weak minds. Now, me, I could go do that stuff. I could go sell it. I could go use it. I don't care for it. You know what my high is? Sky watching. All them beautiful videos I've been bringing to y'all, when I'm doing that with my cameras, that's my drug. I make music. I have a studio in my house. Been doing it since I was a freaking teenager. And I DJ. I do it all that chugga, chugga, chugga. I've thrown parties all over the world where I've lived. From North Carolina, threw parties there. Out in Hawaii, threw parties there. California, a lot of parties there. Big up to my Hispanic people, because a lot of them that was in the military with me, they was like, hey, we throwing a party. We need a DJ. You know who they paid for the DJ? This guy. And we had fun. I ate a bunch of Mexican food. I love tacos. I love burritos. And I'm not picking y'all. I don't do that because my great-grandmother's from Mexico City. So if you hear me, Third Eye Candle, talking about Hispanics, that means I have a big love for Hispanics. You know what I mean? I have a big love for everybody, but I can identify with them through just the race, the culture, and historically, I know that they were a part of our 12 tribes of Hebrew Israelites. They were those people before they were called Hispanic, were called something else in history, just like my people. So I can identify with them, just like I can identify with Asians, because Asian people are very disciplined, they're very intelligent, they're very observant, they love to fight with their martial arts. And I love that type of stuff. It's in my blood too. I love black people because those are my people. We're very exotic people. We cut up. We like to have fun. You know what I mean? And every other race I've encountered, beautiful. White people, y'all a bit high strung because you've never had to deal with no adversities. And don't try to act like, oh, you going to the racial card. No. My great-great-grandfather was Irish, a white guy. He bought slaves and he freed them. And thus came my freaking bloodline. So I got a little bit of that white, pale Irish blood running through me. Some people call that a mutt. It's all right. I'm a good looking dude. Word. Now we got that established. So I've never been to Virginia. I've been in Virginia for 7 years now and I'm about to depart. Only reason I have not left Virginia now is because I'm in college at ECPI. And I don't feel like relocating. It's going to take too much to relocate and take too much time away. So I'm going to go through my schooling, graduate, and go find my place in the world. I'm probably going to go back out west to California or Nevada. I like the West Coast. I have bronchitis, so these 4 seasons on the East Coast, they screw up my lung deal. And I got a cough now because I'm talking real hard. My lungs are really, they get hurt over here on the East Coast. When I was out in the desert in 29 Palm Springs, California, off the Route 10, my bronchitis dried up for that whole time. And I stayed in California for 7 years. So the air there is dry. And I love it. And I miss it. So more than likely, I'm going back that way. Probably going to end my life out there. Like once I die as an old man. I'd rather die somewhere where I love it. And I love Hawaii too. That was my duty station. My first duty station in the Marines. And I just love everything about the Pacific. Nothing wrong with the East Coast, but the East Coast has a slave mentality. Y'all are so deep in this slave mentality that the black people kind of know their place and they get in line. You got a few to get off, out of line. Not the whole East Coast, just where I am, near the South, where the people are really Southern. And I noticed because there's a lot of Confederated people in this area. I grew up with Ku Klux Klan and during the time my parents were young. But they were really low key. Nobody bothered me in North Carolina. The first time I got called nigger to my face was right here in the state of Virginia. Every week that I come out, whether I get a look, a very harsh look, or a very have to trade verbals with somebody, and I'm so tired of it, y'all, because like I'm not a violent person. I've been trained to whoop ass. I've been trained to defend myself. That's what I volunteer for that. I don't go out thinking I'm a badass. I was like Bruce Lee. I was a little kid trying to prove myself as a kid who was a little skinny, scrawny kid. And people tried me and I beat the crap out of them because as a kid, I do a lot of push-ups. I lifted weights and, I was just a little skinny kid with muscles. But at the same time, I was an angry kid. So I was boxing, hitting, I had a sandbag made with real dirt. My dad gave us a sea bag. He put it on a pole, hung it up in the backyard, and I beat the crap out of it with boxing gloves, whatever. So I honed in on my strength. And once I conquered my mind to be a better person, I started toning down my attitude as I got older. Then I started realizing I can be hurt. So I don't want to get hurt. I'm not a coward, but if I'm gonna engage somebody, it's gonna be like in defense of myself or somebody else. And I don't like bullies, like I said before. So keeping that in mind, the reason why I'm giving you this long scoop on me from my past, and it took 16 minutes and 35 seconds so far, is to let you know where I'm headed with what I'm about to tell you. All right, so Sunday, I go to Walmart. And I can't just give the specifics because it's now a legal issue due to some asshole who put me in this position. So I go to Walmart. I'm going to give you the broad, without giving like any names. I'm not going to give you the name of the place. Just going to give you like, it involved police, a Confederated white man who was like 6'5", 6'6", and he was being a bully. And he tried to come at this guy thinking that he was going to get off on, like he probably is used to getting a hard on and getting off on dealing with ignorant black people who do not know how to handle themselves verbally, professionally, and they're still in their slang speaking mindset. And that's one thing, and I'm putting this out there because it's nothing. I speak slang too. I can speak slang with the best of them. Aside from other people, I done been on the East Coast speaking slang, and now I've been on the West Coast speaking slang out of Compton. My ex-wife was from Compton, so I went there a lot when my sons were babies. And I got to speak slang with the Hawaiian brothers. So I'm saying I'm well versed. Even in Iraq, they live in slums when I was over there. Like a lot of y'all think that y'all living hard in the hood, but if you got running electricity, water, you got a refrigerator that works, you got clothes on your back that look decent, your ass is, that hood stuff is a mind state. Our grandfathers and them probably lived in the hood before that. The slaves that were enslaved, those were the hood slaves. We live rough. We have to deal with like resources being cut down for us, but it's a type of a hood. So respect to the hood, but I done seen the slums in hood of all races, where they have to walk for miles to go get water, dirty water, and drink it. All right, y'all get to go to Walmart and get some bottled up clean water, and you got a EBT card and freaking some money in your pocket for doing some work wherever you work at, and you got nice, like a lot of people that's in the hood, they dress better than me, but that's by choice. I don't want to be flashy. I've always been low key. I'm happy every day with being in camouflage, like literally. That's why it made it easy for me to go through the military and the Marines, which is the hardest branch, and be successful, because I woke up every day saying I want to get trained. I want to be better. I don't mind being camouflaged. I can be in this uniform all day. I'm good. To the point where, like, honestly, a lot of my regular clothes that I haven't broken out are camouflaged. And it's not because I want to prove like I'm tough. If a situation goes down where I have to go into the woods to camouflage myself, I'm always ready. And I got a ghillie suit in the back and a camouflage suit. You never know. Okay, so let me get back to the story. So let's say that Walmart's over here, right? So there's this car at the light, two turning lanes. So this car on the outside was already there. I pull up beside him. I stop. We sit there for 2 minutes waiting for the turning light to turn left, to turn green. So I'm always aware. I use my peripherals so I can see everything on my side. Even moving my eyes, I see a better view. So there's this Caucasian white guy. He got the mustache, the handlebar mustache, where it was like a Confederate mustache. And I'm in Virginia. This is battleground. I'm literally living in the battleground state, Petersburg, Virginia. I will tell you that. Lincoln came down here, where I live. It's a historical city. If you know where Virginia State University is, then that's where I'm like literally 10 minutes from it that way. He had the handlebar mustache and his hair pulled back, long kind of hair. So he looks over at me. I look at him and I just look back forward because I'm always looking around my surroundings. People look at me and we just keep going. So after we sit there for 2 minutes, as soon as the light turns green, this is me, this is him. He's on the outside turning lane, I'm on the inside. So I would have to transition to his lane to go to Walmart. So when he takes off, it's like this, like he's drifting literally in front of me, and I had to hit my brakes, let him drift by. So he keeps going. I fall in behind him. I flash my signal. As soon as I flash my signal to go into the turning area, he jerks his car over in front of me, turns into Walmart. I turn in behind him. At that time, he's hitting his brakes. So he's starting to agitate me. And I'm driving a big Ford freaking Explorer. Y'all seen my truck. It's a decent truck. A lot of people get bothered because they think I'm a policeman because I got my antenna on top. But that's for my CB. Yeah, here's my CB. And I was a communications personnel in the Marines. So I definitely love listening to airwaves. And I do have a call sign that I went through online courses for. I don't have my ball phone, but like I get to listen to the police channels, which you can listen to the police channels on your phone. But if I had to squawk back to anybody on a certain situation, it can happen. So with that being said, let me not jump ahead. So we get into the parking lot. He just keeps hitting his brakes. I'm behind him. This is me, this is him. Hit. And I'm like, just getting irritated, but I'm calm. So I was like, okay, as soon as I get it open, since I had to follow him down a one-way type route to get into the store area, I gave him space. So he purposely kept hitting his brakes to not let me around him. When I try to go around him with my hazards, he jumped in front of me. So I was like, okay, here we go. This is what we're dealing with. So I was like, okay, as soon as I can get away from him, I'm gonna get away from him, and that'll be that. So as soon as a pathway opened up for me to go, you can go straight and then turn into the park. Since it was late at night, there were no cars out. Everybody parks close to the store. So I cut across the parking lot diagonally, carefully, slowly, probably doing like 2 miles, 3 miles, looking both ways, and then he's getting away from me. So when he realizes that I'm getting to an area where he can cut me off, he jerks in, accelerates real reckless, comes down across my hood and turns, jerks it towards my hood. At this point, it's like, okay, motherfucker, you have just alerted Sergeant Third Eye Cam, that guy that does not play. That's like waking up the Hulk. But it's like I'm not going into a rage. So I had to turn behind him because I'm trying to get parked close to the store. And so as I turn into my park, he stops, jerks into his park, which is 1 car space apart from me. And so as I'm getting out, I'm thinking, oh, he's just been an asshole. I'm going about my business. So he stands up. He just stands there and looks at me with his hand, just being obscene, throwing obscene hand gestures. And I looked at him calmly. I said, what the fuck's your problem? And here's his response. You're my problem, boy. Just like that. I was like, boy. He was like, yeah, boy. Fuck you, boy. Just like that. All right. Straight, confederated, ignorant, them type of people. So I said, all right, so I see where you're going. I was like, I ain't got time to mess with you because you're, I don't know what's wrong with you, but I'm busy. And he comes around, you're a fucking moron. I was like, oh, my fucking moron. He was like, yeah, you're a fucking idiot. I said, you're a fucking moron and a fucking idiot. That time I'm like, literally, like I said, I'm still a young dude, and I'm not going to edit none of my curse words. I want y'all to hear this whole deal. All right? I'm not going to edit none of this. So nobody can get mad. We all have heard these words before. And with me having been a Marine, I really don't curse no more. Like, if I curse, Marines can chew you out chew you out and make it look like they're pissed off, but they're completely calm. Most Marines are more than happy to chew your ass up. We love chewing each other's asses, and it makes us, that's where we get our hard-ons. I chew somebody's ass, and I'm good, and I told them where to stick it, especially if they're wrong. Now, we don't just chew ass just dumbly. You have to give us a reason to. We don't just chew your ass. We put you in check. We take your shit and put you in check with your shit that you pushed out of yourself. You know what I mean? Because we carry with us honor. So everybody curses. Let's get over that. Everybody calls everybody names. So I can deal with moron. I know what moron means. It means a dark-skinned, dumb black person. I know what an idiot is. We call it ID 10 Tango for the letter I, the letter D, the number 10, Tango for T, ID 10 Tango. Idiots. So I'm well of that. And I'm laughing at them. So at this point, he goes into his pocket. Let me see, where's my key? He goes into his pocket, pulls out a key and puts it in between his hands. It was kind of sharp. And then somehow mysteriously that key turned into a knife. I think he went back and flipped to where, you know, some people keep knives on their rings, and he popped the knife out. And he started raising his fists up, but we were at probably like 8 feet apart, between 8 and 9 feet apart. So he's like, when he came around the car, he started making threats, calling me moron, idiot. And I said, sir, if you don't leave me alone right now, I don't care where you go, I'm gonna have to fuck you up quicker than you can blink. I told him straight up like that. And I said, what you're about to be dealing with is a United States Marine, and I'm not gonna be nice with you. That was a warning, not a threat. It was a promise that I'm gonna whoop your ass after I told you to leave me alone, and you're close withing in my bubble to engage me. Mind you, I've had a lot of training. I don't need any weapons to whoop some ass. If I had to take a hit and let somebody stab me in my elbow, guess what? This hand right here is gonna gouge your eyes out. Straight up. That's how we train. We'll give up an arm, we'll give up a muscle, and let you take it away from us just so we can reach into your freaking face T-box area, remove your eyes, chop you in your larynx to make you swallow your throat. With the back of my hand, I could have just reached up with him coming down with his hand to hit me this way. I could have reached up, chopped him in the throat, and that would have been it. I could have gouged his eyes out. I took martial arts, just palm sue straight to the chest sternum. You use your freaking fingertips, hit him in pressure points. You got pressure points here, 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 nose. I can stick my fingers right up his nose and freaking drag him under his jaw with my thumbs and drag him. Grab him in the small of his arm, the bend of his arm. You have a radial nerve there. In your leg, you have femoral nerves. I could kick his knees backwards. So it's a lot I could have done to him. That's just a little bit. There's a lot more to that. Those are your basics, and they hurt. You know, kick them between the legs. But you know, the kicking knees backwards hurts worse than the leg. The kicking somebody between the legs, because you just altered their anatomy. All right. So with that being said, I'm warning him off. Told him I'm a Marine. And at this point, when I see him, he starts taking steps towards me. So I says, "Hey, sir, I have a weapon, and I want you to leave me alone." And he's still, you know, fuck you, moron. I'm gonna fuck you up. I eat Marines for breakfast. And once he told me he eats Marines for breakfast, my mind thought about every Marine that is more hardcore than I am, that will fuck you up just for blaspheming the word Marine in a derogatory manner. If you say you're gonna beat a Marine's ass, they will engage you before you can finish getting them words out your freaking damn mouth. I'm one of them types. You talk ugly about my Marines, I will fuck you ugly up and you won't come back. But because people have the laws of the lands of America, they think that they're that, and plus they're privileged, which is a lot of that dumb privilege going on that says I can get away with disrespecting you, but you got to fall in line, drop your head and say, yes, sir, no, sir, I, sir. I'm not that dude. My grandparents dealt with that. My parents dealt with that. My parents dealt with the color era. I was born in 74. My parents were born in 52 and 51. They dealt with saying segregation, color, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. That was their era. And once I started getting educated on that era, I was like, this is a freaking nightmare. And at that point, I said, nobody's going to ever treat me like that. And I always said to myself, my younger self, if you call me fucking any kind of dumb names, I'm going to have to fuck you up. That was the young me. The older me who's trying to get my degree at ECP. Yeah, you can see my shirt. This guy's trying to be really, excuse me, I'm an elder. I'm getting knowledge. I would prefer to talk you out of the situation than fuck you up. But there's still some young in me, so I won't hesitate to fuck you up. Now, if you talk about killing me, I'm going to laugh at you. You know why? Because I'm a warrior combat. I met Taliban that was tougher than most of these freaking Americans that screaming that they're patriots and they got privilege. While you're pretending to be a pretender for your red, white, and blue, I own that shit. I carried that shit. I got my own flags that I carried in war. I still got my boots that's got combat on them. You know what I mean? And certain weapons that I had to have on me that I took into combat. Probably still got blood on them. Like a K-bar knife. But I got to deal with your ass telling me how I better get in line and I'm a boy and I'm a moron and I'm an idiot. That's fine. Even when he called me nigger, I kept my cool. Y'all know that word provokes people. I still kept my cool. Because I'd rather go away from you. I got a family. I don't feel like dealing with what I had to deal with. Going to jail for one. In America, black people are not really respected for their position. And I got disrespected for my position after I showed mercy. So I kept showing this guy mercy. So I'm walking around from the back of my truck to get in this car. Got the door open like this. We're arguing. My firearm sits on the chair in a holster. So I have to do a whole lot to get to it. So as I'm telling him, you have a good night, sir. And I had already warned him 3 times that I had a gun. I said, first time was a weapon. The other 2 times, I got a gun, sir. Have a good night. And he started advancing on me. So his 8-9 feet turned into 4 feet. And then we got these nosy people that come to bother me and see what I'm doing. Yes, have a good life. Like, so I'm sitting, let me show you where I'm sitting at, because now people think, I'm not even free in my country no more. So here's my truck. There's a cul-de-sac. This car that had no business coming down here, she came to see what I was doing. So she drove down here. And I get this a lot when I come back here. Y'all see my truck. Come down here. I get a lot of people that come down here, swing around the cul-de-sac, and then look over at me like I'm doing something illegal. Now, police see me back here all the time because they know I come to Star Watch. So they like, you see my truck, they know who I am. They like, oh, this guy with the antenna. And, they actually get happy when I'm back here because they're like, oh, this area is secured. I don't have to come patrol back here because they know who I am. You know why they know who I am? A lot of them tried to hire me fresh out the Marines to be a police officer. And I told them, no, I'm good. So let me put this back. I think people who are just standard civilians who have never had any training, who are so-called the eyes, because they think it's so many of you black people, unfortunately, doing drugs because you can't handle life. And I can say this because I've handled life. I don't know your situation, you don't know mine, but I know I got my ass whooped coming up. I bet you a lot of y'all didn't get your ass whooped by your grandparents, your mama, and I'm talking about with a belt, make you go plat your own switch for being a little badass so they could beat your ass. That was me. And I'm glad I got that. Made me tough. Anyways, the whole world is really irritating to me. I guess my warranty's expired. Because I deal with a lot of grown people who act worse than kids. Like, honestly, children in their teenage years, when they're not out just being stupid, they seem to conduct more mature than adults from before when I was born. Even in your freaking people that wear suits. Everybody from before that I was born before me, like in the 1960s, 60s, 50s, and 40s, and 30s if they're still alive, they're under that control mindset. I was born in 74, but this is the time when the earth started transitioning to black people get more freer, get more rights, and then I got to experience the beautiful 80s where Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan, Mike Tyson, and a whole lot of your other athletes, Magic Johnson, all them, where we were showing our stuff. So like that was a proud time to be around. Everybody that was born after like the millennium of 2000, y'all missed the best ride of y'all life. And all y'all got was all these lame rappers sounding the same, minus Drake and a few others. All these rappers, the rappers that I came up with taught you how to be a man. They wasn't talking about no crime. They wasn't talking about no drugs. Like, I take this dope and I put it down my throat and I'm got this girl chasing me. Yeah. No, none of that dumb stuff. That's the dumbest stuff I've ever heard. Some of it sounds good. The beats sound good, but with a rapper rapping, I could out-rap some of these rappers. If I really sit down and I got a whole studio in my house, I can make a beat. I got some music in my head that I'm going to get back on point. Where I could put, really sit down, make a really nice song. And I like all types of music. I love country music, heavy metal, mariachi. I love Asian music. I love Hindu music. You know, the Hindus like, I love that kind of music. Of course, I love my black people music, and I like African music. When they get the drums going, you know, the Jamaican music. But y'all get where I'm coming from. All right, so back on this conversation. I ain't trying to take up too much time, but like, so once I got going through all this with this guy, as I was getting into my truck, this truck, to get away from him, once he said, "I'm gonna kill you, nigger," some switches went off in my head, and my back was to him. And when I turned around, by this time I had already grabbed my firearm, and it was quick, like lightning. He was reaching into his cargo pocket while he had his little blade in his hand to come down on me, and he was raising it up to come down on me to probably stab me in the head. He would have got this side of me or my back or something. He was reaching into his cargo pocket screaming, "I'm gonna kill you, nigger." And my firearm came out, and when I cocked it, I never raised it up. And when I cocked it, my finger was straightened off the trigger. Marines have rules when we have to use our weapon. Let me see if I can remember them. One is keep your finger straightened off the trigger before you intend to shoot, and never aim your weapon at anything you do not intend to shoot. And, you know, just that's like number 3 and 4. I forget the rest. Anyway, it'll come back to me later. My mind is somewhere else. But I practice that like a religion. If I pick up my gun, you do a function check. Even if I haven't touched my gun in a while, you do a brass check. So you pop the magazine out, you kind of pull back on the Glock part, and if it's a round in there and you ain't intending to shoot, you pull it all the way back, pop that round out. Then you put it in the administrative with the gun open. You look down the barrel through the side of it where the bullet ejects to make sure it's clear. Then you send it home. And you always keep your weapon on safe. Yeah, that's one of our rules. Keep your weapon on safe. So a round got racked in, but I had ejected the magazine. Just all of that quick. And the reason why I did that, because I was like, I'm not going to shoot him. In my head, I don't feel like dealing with this. Now I'm thinking all this real quick, going through all this. I'm not going to shoot this guy. So as I pulled my weapon out the holster, I ejected the magazine, I heard it fall out, and I caught it. All that happened in a split second. Just like that. And this guy went from, "I'm going to kill you," to, "You tried to kill me. I'm going to call the police. I'm about to call 911. You tried to kill me. You pointed your gun at me." I never pointed my gun at him. Kept it at the ground. I was like, "Dude, you a fucking bitch." I was like, because you was just tough all of a second ago. You was telling me you was going to fuck me up. You was going to eat Marines for breakfast. And I told you I had a firearm 3 times, and you still advanced on me. And now all of a sudden you're playing this little Karen crying game. I was like, get the fuck out of here. So I said, you know what? I'm going to get away from you. So I called 911 too on this phone. And I told him, I said, there's this guy that, you know, ran me into a situation, called me all types of derogatories. We had words. I called him the same derogatories he called me. When I told him to get away from me so I could, because he pulled one car apart from me. And the dispatch was like, and the guy's arguing in the background. So she's getting that too. He's calling me names still. And at the same time, he's on his dispatch, making it seem like I'm attacking him. Kind of like the woman that was in the park in New York that was choking the dog out. But she's telling the 911 while the guy's recording her that he's attacking her and she's choking her dog out. But in the end, once they saw the video, they took her dog away and the guy got to go free. So, yeah, he called the police. He said he wanted the police down there. And my dispatch, 911 dispatch, said, get in your car and just back away from him and wait for the police. I was like, fine. So I put my weapon on the dashboard after I put it back together. Backed my car out slowly, and I had my windows down, so he's screaming to his dispatch, "He's running now! He's running! He's running away from me!" So he played a card to make it seem like he was the victim when he victimized me. So I parked like probably 20 car lengths. I backed straight up real slow, put my car into a spot, put my gun on the dashboard, because I can rightfully carry a gun, y'all, and y'all can too. So don't act like I'm a bad guy because of a gun. And I'm trained on how to use that gun. I've given classes on that at Miramar, San Diego, 2007. I was a combat marksman coach and a combat marksman teacher. You don't know nothing about that. Where your boy Tom Cruise did the movie Top Gun, I was stationed there. Where your boy Rock and Bruce Willis did the movies Tears of the Sun and The Rundown in Hawaii, I was there during that year. I got to meet them. So I don't get too up in the air about meeting famous people. I met some presidents. President Bush, President Obama. All right. So I don't get too up in the air about meeting people. And I met a lot of famous people too. A lot of people that y'all see on TV, I met them. Lindsay Lohan was one of them. When I met her in Hollywood, she was like, "Hi, I'm Lindsay Lohan," and I said, "Hi, Lindsay, I'm Sergeant, my name." And she's like, "Oh my God, you're awesome!" Gave me a hug and all that, and said, "Come hang out with us." And I hung out with him for a while. So I was used to meeting people like that in California. It was nothing in Hollywood. So that lets you know how extravagant my life's been. Plus, that's nothing. I've been around the world. Dealt with some royalty people. And Marines are considered knights. We ain't just soldiers. That's the privilege you get with, that you earn with giving of your time to go and be something. People want to come around and meet you. Don't matter your color. I will tell you, in other countries, because those people know our true history, I had a lot of the European people, Asian people that would always come up to me and ask if they could take a picture with me. Not because I'm devastatingly handsome. It's because they just like being around me, and I'm a lot of fun. Like, I'm literally a lot of fun, y'all. And the whole racial thing is nothing new to me. I will tell you, in every uniform outfit, especially Marines, because we do a specific job and we're a brotherhood, you have to sit down with your Marines, no matter what rank you are, up and down the rank structure, to have a conversation about racism. And the reason why we do that is because some people come from a Confederated background where they've met no black people. And some black people come from the hood where they really don't interact with white people or any other people other than the Chinaman on the corner store or the Arabic in the gas station. Like, literally, they don't get to interact with no people. So we do that to establish our own camaraderie. So when we go forth out into the world to start meeting with different people from different countries, we're already on that mental level. And now I've been overexposed to that. My dad was Army. Like I said, I've been meeting different race people since I was in my single digits because of him. And he was at 82nd Airborne, and they're getting ready to deploy over to the Ukraine. So I'm from that part of the world, and I know that life. And thank God my dad, he put in his time to let me, experience that. So by the time I got through it as a Marine, I was already advanced. But me as a, regardless of what rank I was, I always sat down and had racial conversations with people. And when I became in charge of people, like we had this one guy, he's cool as crap. He's from Kansas. He never really dealt with black people. All he did was, from boot camp to his training, he kept to himself. He just didn't probably know how to interact. So what I did is, I was a platoon sergeant. I put him with all my, some of my black corporals and my responsible lance corporals that were really mature. Like I said, we're all a brotherhood. We'd all been there for a while. And I let him go PT with them. And, everybody else go PT. That was already mixed. And the reason why I did that, so that he could get that whatever out of his head. And then we were all like probably a few minutes away from each other, probably a mile apart. So we all go run, exercise, side shoulder hops, push-ups, all that stuff, do it together, camaraderie. Then we come back together, take care of business, and then we have conversations about, because he never dealt with black people. And then after that experience, like, he actually ended up getting a black girlfriend. It just had, it was just a normal thing. But I'm building my situation, so if you care to listen to my story, please listen. I'm about to get to the end of it now. Let you know how mature I am in the head about different races. And that stuff don't bother me. A race thing is a mindset. Just like people call us black or African American, we're neither one of those. People that call themselves white, you're not that. You're either British, English, probably some other tribal name before you was English and British, or Scottish or Irish. You were some tribal name. That's a whole different history in itself. Okay, so police came, 8 of them, 9 of them showed up, and they all cahooted around him. So it was 8 white policemen and 1 African policeman, and they all kind of walked past him. Well, and the rest of them stopped at him, and the black one came to me, and he kind of was like, "What happened?" So I started telling him exactly what I told y'all, that the guy was acting stupid. He irritated me. Yes, we traded insults, but after I told him what I needed to tell him and realized he was an idiot for even engaging me like that, and I warned him off, he kept aggressing on me. And the white policeman also was standing beside the African policeman when I was telling him that. The moment that I got to the point where I told him, I said, yeah, he called me a black, he said, I'm going to kill you, nigger. The moment I said that to him, the white officer looked at me and walked right off. And I looked at him like, you're supposed to be taking my statement. You're supposed to at least be listening to me. They got 7 police officers down there. I got a black one and I got a white one. The white one walks away. So it was like, whatever. So they went to this guy and he's causing the scene. He's cursing at the police. No, you shut up. He tried to kill me. And they were like, sir, calm down. No, you shut the fuck up. He's just going ape shit. And so they took his statement. Nobody never took my statement. All they got was black man, firearm, brandishing a gun, pointed his weapon. That was on my report. So they went and got the video footage off the Walmart top. They had the cameras out. They saw everything that he did to me from the time that we turned into Walmart's parking lot. They saw on the cameras where he was jerking at my truck, hitting his brakes. They saw why I deviated away from him and how he cut me off and then jerked at my truck. And then they saw us having our verbal. They saw his fist going up and down at me. They saw me trying to get away from him after my hands were flying like a Marine drill instructor. Marines like to fly their freaking knife hands and point them at you, and then and when I told them I did this, like, I'm done. That's when he aggressed on me, and they couldn't hear the audio, but they caught the video. And so they let him get in his truck, drive off, because he was the victim and I was the aggressor. But really, he was the aggressor and I was the victim who warned him off, because I'm just trying to go back home so I can finish my homework. So they let him leave. They banned both of us from that Walmart. I rarely go to that Walmart, but they had something that I needed. So then all the policemen came to me and they said, yeah, we got to do what we got to do. And I said, so what exactly are you doing? They was like, we got to take you in. I was like, so you're not going to tell me I'm under arrest? So they put my hands behind my back. They handcuffed me. I'm very calm. They was like, yeah, he's, calm. He's like, and they were doing their job, but it's just the fact that nobody took my statement. And they get commission off me, all of them, once they run me through the process. So, I had to do the humiliated walk of being handcuffed. And even the people in the parking lot that saw it going on, they were telling him to leave me alone. It was a few people. There was a guy parked right in front of me that saw the whole thing. He was like Hispanic or Arabic looking. I don't think he really wanted to get and deal with that. And I don't blame him, because I knew how to handle that situation from start to finish. It's just that this guy was an unstable shit and out of control. So they took me in and they said, okay, once you see the magistrate, she should let you go home. But I was already there for like close to 3 hours. And this was Sunday. So when the police officer gave the magistrate the other guy's side of the story, they told the magistrate that I had my gun in my hip, on my waistband. I yanked it up, cocked it, and pointed at the guy. So they painted me in that color, that ball, whatever. But the video showed him aggressing on me. But that's what he told the magistrate after. I said, officer, that's not what happened. Y'all didn't take my statement. Nobody asked me, hey, what did you do? Why did you do it? What made you do it? I was like, so you're not going to put that in the computer. You got to put in the right stuff. And I was like, y'all failed to take my statement. So now I have to make a correction. And I guess it pissed the magistrate off. She was a short black lady. And she's one of them short, unattractive black ladies that more than likely hate black people. You get those. I'm going to be straight up. They worship white people and other races, but when they have to deal with their race, because my people are in a destructive state right now with this drugs, videos, alcohols, everything is negative with us because we have been run into the ground. The children of our parents and their parents, they get born into a world where there are options, but they don't have the patience to go seek it. And everything is so stupid that if you go over here to get an education, you're an uppity Negro or uppity nigger according to some Caucasian. If you stay over here in the hood to be dumb, you cool. We got your back. No, none of that don't matter. You got to seek for yourself. At the end of the day, if you smart enough to pay attention to what God said in the Bible, he said, God hides a thing that so wise men go and seek it. Do I need to say it again? Yes, I'll say it again. God goes and hides a thing so that wise men will seek it. And I've been seeking a lot for a long time. I don't just sky watch. I'm literally learning. I'm learning history. I'm learning technology. I'm learning how the world works. I want to know how it works. I want to know how it looks. I want to know everything. That's why it's easy for me to bring y'all these little sky pictures and be standing there and not worried about, let me go to the hood and get me some weed, give me some alcohol, slap on some fat ass, No, I didn't even do that as a kid. I didn't even do that in my 20s or 30s. You know what I'm saying? I didn't project that out there. If I had my time when I had it, where I was, I enjoyed it. But most of the time I'm thinking deep. I'm on business. So They take me down to the police station on Sunday. Talk to them, they said they're gonna let me out. The magistrate said, because I made a correction to her, she got pissed off. Said, and here's what she came off with me, y'all. That's how I know she hates my kind, but she's supposed to be my people. She said, we're gonna keep you overnight. And I said, ma'am, but I was the one that got threatened. Well, it could get worse, just like that. I was like, oh, we playing this game. So if I speak anymore, she's gonna make it worse for me, to make me sit here in the jail cell for like probably a week, 3 weeks, a month. So I shut up. Because they was like, when you see the pretrial people, you get out tomorrow. I was like, cool. So what she did was, on the paperwork, which was Sunday, said that he already saw pretrial personnel on the 23rd, which was Sunday, which made them the next day drop me off the list to get seen so I could get released on Monday. So I had to spend a whole nother night in an orange suit, y'all, that says the place, county jail. That was my first time dealing with something like that. It was humiliating, but I saw past that that incursion to the other side, and keeping in mind, I'm taking notes on people, mental notes, as to where they are making mistakes, because I know how to write a duty. I know how to write a very elaborate and truthful story, typing real fast in my computer or written by hand. Yeah, that's how proficient I am. And I remember everything that I'm dealing with. You're dealing with a military mind. I have not dropped that. I go right back into the Marines today, catch right back up, because I still practice it on the outside. Deal with the BS. So, they put me in the cell with another guy, bumped the COVID joint. Like, I was in a 10x20. He was a homeless guy, so he'd been there plenty of times before. And he told me he did 14 years in his younger life. He was a homeless guy, but he jumped real quick up on the bunk rack, and I got to sleep on the floor on on a thin mat, and the cold air is blowing in all night, and I get like 2 thin blankets. I use one for a pillow, in my orange suit with my orange shoes, my white socks, and my underwear. They took everything else off of me, and that was irritating because I have a bit of an anxiety. So I did go through an anxiety attack, because I'm all of a sudden went from being free, having to protect myself, to being locked in a 10x20 next to a person. When I'm a monk, y'all, I don't go near people other than my family. If I don't know you, I don't know who you are. With COVID running, I need my space. That's why it's so easy for me to come out in these fields, and I don't have to be in people's faces. So he slept all night. I couldn't get no sleep because the air was rushing in on me, and when they do their roving and checks, heavy steel doors getting slammed all night. Click, boom, and it echoes. So I'm not used to sleeping like that. When I go home and sleep, it's very quiet, unless somebody in my neighborhood gets acting stupid, and they rim in their cars or people break out fighting. That happens occasionally, but for the most part, I get enough sleep. So Tuesday comes. I made a real good friend. What's up, Nacho? When I made a really good friend there, he was that's like the only guy that I got to speak with on the level. Everybody else, they moved me from the 10x20 to a bigger pod with like 15 guys in it and a TV. So I got to have a TV, had books. I immediately went in there after I put my stuff down, picked up a Bible, because I got my Sephar. Let me see, where's my Sephar? Hold up. All right, so everybody knows about the Holy Bible. Everybody knows about the Bible. This is the Sephar. This is the book that was written from the Dead Sea Scrolls before it got watered down to the Bible. So I'm always in it. It's a really thick book. Look at it. It's really thick with Hebrew. It gives like specific details where they took out like a lot of books of the Bible, like the book of Enoch. There's the book of Enoch, Chanok, Chanok. Deuteronomy, Leviticus, Exodus. Okay, so they took a lot of books out of this Bible so they could water it down, and a lot of this stuff is history that tells how people came to be, especially out the book of Enoch. It shows how people corruptly put themselves in power, who are the current people who are in power now, and the people that civilized the world pretty much got told that they were monkeys and swinging from trees and they were uncivilized. Yeah, that's a whole nother story. So I need to make this short. It's almost an hour long, but I really want for y'all to listen to this. Y'all know I don't do videos where I get personal and act all up, but I've been dealing with Virginia calling me a nigger for 7 years straight, and I'm actually, with me being in college, once I graduate, I'm leaving here forever, and I won't be crossing back through here. The land is tainted, the people are tainted. There's been a lot of blood spilled here historically. A lot of slave people. This is the first state, so their slave mandate is still in standing. Most people don't know that. Virginia's history, and a lot of the black people here, I haven't seen all of them, but a lot of black people here are very subdued, like they're back in the 1960s. And a lot of the white people here are very arrogant. I've had white people that will cross over the mall, and not just any white people, just the confederated kind. Whether it be old, they're all old couples or really old men being real hateful. The children, the young white children, they are more modernized. They identify with the younger black generation through hip hop. I got to see hip hop get born, so I'm a hip hop fanatic. Not this new rap crap. I'm talking about hip hop fanatic, and that was more advanced than this new rapping crap. So yeah, I've had people cross over, and Marines, when we walk a straight line, one foot in front of the other. I still practice. Not practice, it's just in me to walk like a Marine. And a lot of people see me walking with my back up, not slouched over. I don't have my pants hanging off my ass. I'm not dressed like a clown with a bunch of colors. I don't have my hair flying everywhere. Like, if you see my videos where I had a little mini fro, sometimes I let my hair grow out on purpose. Then I'll cut it. And of course, y'all see I faded. I normally keep a military fade. It's more comfortable for me. This feels comfortable for me. I've been like this all my life. Even as a kid, I kept the fade. Cause once I brush my hair, this is how I do it. I'm done, just like that. And it stays where I need to stay, keep it. And I'll do this every once in a while, going throughout my day, and it's fine. So, I'm blessed. And I'm the type of person, I'll give you my last dollar, I'll give you the shirt off my back. I'll get you food. There have been cases where I had to fill people's tanks up who had nothing, who were stranded at the gas station. That's the kind of person I am. And I don't want no thank you. I don't want no worship. I'm helping you because that's how I get my blessings. So the guy that put me in jail for 2 nights, I had mercy on him when I should not have. And I feel sorry for him because he's limited. Once I did get to talk to my lawyer's secretary, and I explained to her my story. I explained to her, which they took all the information on me being a Marine, and I'm in college, and they was like, you shouldn't even be here. Why are you here? Because some people dropped the ball and didn't do their job correctly because they were wanting me to fall into the status quo. And, in jail, I will say this. They immediately treat you like you're a peasant, like you are guilty. Because I was supposed to let me out Monday, and then Monday crossed over, and every time I tried to talk to the police, you gotta push a button to talk to an intercom. And I was like, hey, I was supposed to see my pre-trial at this time. And they was like, oh, just a few minutes. You're just gonna have to wait. And mind you, when I went in on Sunday, I was actually going to get some food. So I have what is called G6PD, glucose proficiency. I'm deficient. Glucose pro deficiency 6 something. I forget it. I got it written down. I'm supposed to have my medical bracelet on. Pretty much, if I don't maintain myself, get adequate fluids and food, especially if I miss my meal, with me being older, my body will go into the shakes. So I did go into the shakes on Sunday, and I asked them could they get me some water because I hadn't eaten since 9 o'clock Sunday morning. And by the time I went to go get something to eat, I was gonna go to Walmart and get me something to eat that night. I normally, if I'm not doing a lot of exercise, I only eat twice a day. But think about it, I'm going back to my freaking house with a refrigerator full of food, water, bottled water. I eat healthy, but now I'm put in a condition where I'm off my schedule, and if I don't put something in my body, even if it's a piece of bread or crackers or chips, I'll start going into the shakes. So I went to the shakes that night because my body was, it's kind of like a diabetic. If they don't get something, they'll have a breakdown. Well, I got a lot of people in my family that's diabetic. I don't have diabetes, but if I were to eat wrong and if I was overweight and not taking care of my body, I would be a diabetic right now, and I'm not trying to do that. I'm actually trying to stay healthy. And I actually, with all the food out here in the world, I only eat a limited amount. I do my salad. I might do chicken. I do fish. I don't do ham no more. I'll do turkey. But even if I do the meats, it's in small portions. I like to eat a lot of vegetables and leaves and fruits. I'm actually sliding myself back into that of a herbivore type deal. They call it vegans, whatever's vegetarian. Yes. So they talk ugly to me all night, and I had this little young one punk ass sheriff. He was a little young, light skinned dude with glasses, kind of looked like Ron from a different world. So when I got on the mic with him, he talked real ugly to me, y'all. Pretty much told me, "You ain't gonna talk to nobody. You need to take yourself and go back to sleep. You wasting my time." You know, like, motherfucker, you're on the clock. And that's when I was going through my shakes. So I had to fight all night through my shakes, and then every time he came around to do his roving, I looked him directly in the eye. He'd roll his eyes at me like I wasn't shit. And I'm thinking to myself, man, I'm about to be, at some point when I graduate ECP, I get a federal job. And as smart as I know that I think I am, and I'm going to be a hacker, and I'm not trying to put no information out there, I can go really investigate people if I choose to get my badge. But, you know, it's all fine. They're used to dealing with a lot of lowlives, or so they think, lowlives, because everybody's caught up in this world. And I think people are really mean to each other, man. Like, that's my biggest disappointment with coming back to America. When I first got out the Marines, and some guy was trying to sell me some insurance, and he was like, "Oh, I see where you're a Marine and you've been to war and been here, been that." And he was like, "Let me ask you a question. Out of all the places that you've been around the world, mind you, I've been through a combat zone, what's the worst place that you've ever been in the world?" And I said, immediately behind him, America. And he chuckled. "Wow, really?" And I was like, yes. I was like, because all the other countries are very well established, and they don't have to deal with a whole lot of what's the word? It starts with a D. A lot of different people. If you're in Asia, you're going to be dealing with majority Asians. If you're in Arabia, you're going to be dealing with a lot of Arabians. If you're in Africa, you're going to be dealing with a lot of dark-skinned people. If you're in Europe, you're going to be dealing with a lot of white-skinned people. America is diverse. That's the word I was looking for. We're a very diverse country, so everybody comes with their culture, their mind, perception, and people from outside of America, when they do come in, get told that all black people are bad. All black people are bad. And if they don't have an education in the suit and have proved themselves, don't mess with them. They're bad for business. But then these same people go out and irritate people like me, who's really trying to do the right thing, and try to make me a bad guy. Because I've had a lot of policemen, man. I'm going to tell you, one time I walked into a gas station. I was still a Marine. And Marines walk real distinct. So I'm a very proud Marine, very high-strung. And I was already doing it. I was wearing my green suit 5 days a week. On the weekends I get off, I put on my little polo. I have the same type haircut. This is my military standard haircut. They call it a high and tight. Mine's just a fade. I put on my polo, and I love wearing polos. And I love wearing my slacks. If I ain't in like gym type outfits like this, a t-shirt and some comfortable pants and sneakers, like exercise, I have to have running sneakers. I don't want no basketball Jordans, no J's, no LeBron James, anything ridiculous. I will take $30, go buy some New Balances that fit to my feet, very comfortable, and be just fine. I'm not a clown. I'm a strategic dude. And the reason why I say clown, because I see a lot of my brothers with all these colors on them like the rainbow, looking like some wild rap video crap. And that's fine for them, but then they turn around and look at me like I'm out of order. And my pants ain't sagging. So I'm kind of in a vice grip. So I'm dealing with people who have privilege that get to walk around with their asses on their shoulders and do whatever they want. And then I have to deal with people who choose to want to be in the hood, smoking weed all day, looking like they're in a rap video, laying up on their asses, playing video games. And I got video games. I got a 70-inch TV, got video games. I got those for my kids. I haven't touched my video games in 10 years. Yeah, 10 years. But they're there, right up on my big 70-inch TV. So if I should want to touch them one day, I will. Other than that, I'm learning my computer. Before I even went to ECPI, I was online learning. Of course, I've been researching the sky for a long time. I don't want to have fun right now because I did have fun as a Marine. I did play video games as a Marine because, you know, you got your buddies and Marines after a hard day work. They just want to sit down and just drink their little beers, play Call of Duty or some other video game and talk junk to each other, or football. We play a lot of Madden. Play football, play sports, and crack on each other about how they got dunked on a touchdown. You know, that's what I dealt with in the Marines. And all that's good. That's a big stress reliever. But I also was dealing with real life scenarios. So in the Marines, you go through like scenarios where you're doing Call of Duty. I was doing Call of Duty when I was actually in the what they call the Oculus now, with me a M16 with a cable coming out of it, or a 9mm shooting targets in a big room, you know, where I'm moving around like that's where your Oculus and all that comes from. So I already did all that, and all the way up to a war zone where we had to really run and fight and shoot people. You know what I mean? So I'm retired from all that for the moment. Now I will sit down and play with my sons when I get that chance. I love playing with them. They're awesome. My sons are no joke on the video game. They've been called hackers from Asian people over in different countries when they play Call of Duty because I did give them some military tact on how to play, and the rest they figured out because they're some nerds. My oldest son looked like T.I. the rapper. My youngest son looked like Barack Obama. And my daughter looks like Janet Jackson from Good Times. I call her Penny Jackson, and she knows that. And she gets mad at me. But she loves me. And I love the crap out of them. They're my babies. My oldest daughter, she would have been 20 going on this year. She died. She was born 6 months early. I got her actual footprints from where they stamped her feet when she was born on my tattooed on my arm, with her full name, her birth date, and the death date. She was born February 13th, 03, and died March 8th, 03. So she only lived for 23 days, and she was born prematurely, you know, and that one hurt because I always knew that my first child was going to be a girl. Did not count on her dying. I always knew that I was going to have 2 boys and a girl in my family because my family has 2 boys and a girl. There's my oldest brother, my sister, and I'm the youngest. So I wanted it exactly just like my parents said. I didn't care what order they came in. I just wanted 2 boys and a girl. Girls are very strong. Boys are very strong too, but girls are pretty much like they got that motherhood about them, even little sisters. And one sister would have made the 2 brothers be overprotective of her, and they are. Because I was overprotective of my sister and my brother. And my brother's my hero. And my father too. He gets on my nerves. Both of them get on my nerves. My dad put me through the private drill where he was a sergeant and I was a private, and I took it the wrong way and gave him some headaches. Just typical teenage headaches. But okay, so let me finish. So pretty much I got out Tuesday. What's the day? Thursday already? I got out Tuesday, and I'm just now getting back used to it. I had to finish up what got interrupted on Sunday. I had to finish it up on immediately when I got out. I didn't get out of that place until like 8 o'clock that night. So literally I spent 36 hours in there. 24 hours, something like that. No, more than 24 hours, 2 days. 48 hours. I spent 48 hours and some hours on lockdown because of some asshole who used his privilege, got his feelings hurt because he tried to he got mad because he could not scare me. He was 6'8", 6'5", 6'6". I'm 5'9", and I guess he thought I was gonna bow down to him or act like what he would consider a nigger, but I didn't, because I'm very professional. I can curse you out and use big words, and I did start using big words on him, and I think I agitated him, and there was an audience around him of them telling him to leave me alone, and because he saw me not backing down or getting cowardly again. And I'm not going to edit none of my colorful metaphors in this video. When people tell you don't fuck with a Marine, you should really take that. Reason why I say that, some Marines are downright evil because they put themselves in a position to learn a lot. We will wait 5 and 10 years out when all the dust has settled, and we'll come find a person and make them disappear. A lot of Marines will do that. I'm not one of them. I'm respecting the laws of the land. Now, I always say to myself, if there were no laws of this land, I'd have a lot of blood on my hands. And I'm not being funny, man. It's in the Bible. King David had a lot of blood on his hands. I'm not King David, but I just don't want to bother people. I literally, since I've been in Virginia, I practice staying away from people. And I don't have to assume that you're messed up in the head. I can tell by the way people carry themselves, if they're educated to the point, or they're just who don't have time for problems. I can tell the people who go out looking for problems, and I steer immediately away from them. But I keep them within my visual acuity to make sure that they're not going to bother nobody. Prime example, when the plague hit, the Walmart here in Petersburg got a lot of black people that go there on the regular. They go there because that's their club. They go and chat with their buddies. That's like the club for old people. So one day I went in there for something, and this one we could still carry our firearms on my hip. Normally, because that's my privilege, I can carry my firearm on my hip, and I don't think nothing of it. So, a lot of Confederate people were coming to Walmart with their Confederated hats on, with the little freaking dumb flag, and a shirt that says "These colors don't run," with their Confederate beard, and their shit kicker boots, and their cowboy swagger. And they get to walking around and looking at people. They're looking at all the black and Hispanic people like, if you move, I'm going to shoot you like I'm in the Western. So this guy was walking around like that. He was just big old Confederate buckle, just walking around with his gun on his hip. And I was like, look at this punk ass dude. So I had my gun on my hip. And like I said, that's when we could carry. Not because I want to advertise. I've gotten to a point where I don't trust people. And it was a point where I was being called nigger a lot. And once, in another situation, I'll get to that one. So once he saw me, and I had my Marine Corps hat on that said freaking combat veteran, you know, let him know I'm a combat veteran out of Iraq with my little freaking flag flying backwards and my rank and my Eagle Lobe anchor. So he's walking around, and then he met this guy, and I was like Predator. I was just letting him know, because he was looking at very old black people like he wanted to hurt them. Men, women, little young boys coming in there, with their pants sagging. It's like he was trying to pick a fight, and he wasn't going to shop. He literally was walking around with his little punk ass arms bowled out, being a Confederate patriot who never served, and he didn't serve. So let me turn this. This sun is trying to cut into my truck. The camera, I don't want y'all to get blinded. So when he met this real patriot, me, his little eyes got big. Damn it. Trying to get into a spot where the sun ain't going to irritate. I don't want to put the sun in my face. I really don't want to squint. I'll put it over here somewhere. This is irritating, y'all. Trying to run from the sun. I have nowhere to run to. It's cool. You know what? Cool. Whatever. I just block it with my little visor. Okay, so yeah, that's cool. So he was walking around putting himself in the position to bully old helpless people, old helpless black people. And yes, he was a white Confederated type person. And I will tell you, I don't have no problem with white people, y'all. I got a great grandfather who's Irish. I love me some white people just like I love everybody else. It's not about skin color with me. It's about your spirits. I got some black people I freaking can't stand because they're evil. So that way you don't say, oh, Third Eye Cam is racist. No, I'm not, man. Like, I can call up some of my Confederated white friends that were in the Marines from Missouri and still chat with them. Why? Because we fought back to back protecting each other. So I understand people act the way they act. Black people got issues too. Like when I saw the whole shootings and I'm seeing black people looting and stealing stuff from stores that they didn't buy, and then they put the stuff down and put their hands up and say, hands up, don't shoot. I could have kicked the shit out of them myself. Like, don't do that, man. Don't do a crime and then acting like you innocent. I don't like that. But for like the guy that was running through Georgia minding his business, who got shot for nothing, Ahmaud Arbery, literally I was that guy on Sunday, man. I just came to go get some stuff. Only thing was that I was armed. The other guy, I don't know what he had, and I was expecting him to pull a gun out too. Do you know how ugly that would have been? Either both of us would have died, one of us would have died, but I'd have got in trouble for firing my weapon in a public parking lot near a store. So that's why I had to think through my stuff when this guy told me he's going to kill me, but I had to protect myself, and it was more so a warning when I had to do it. But he gave me no choice. I was not going to let him stab me or run up in my bubble. And with me being my age, I'm not going to hit you no more. I'm going to throw something at you, a Thor hammer or something. I prefer to really beat a person the right way, so they can realize they got bested and beat somebody that was skilled and trained. I don't want to pull out no gun, but he aggressed on me so fast with the words kill. Once you tell a person, especially a Marine, you're gonna kill them, they got the right to smoke you. But because I am who I am with this brown skin, I have to be careful in this here America in 2022, on top of a pandemic coming out of the 1960s and 50s, going through the 1980s, 90s, and the early 2000s, where things just got stupid. So I'm humiliated living in my country. And I'm more humiliated because I went over to fight another country for weapons of mass destruction when it was all for the damn oil and resources. And then I had to come back here and get called that stupid name. That will fly me into a rage, y'all. Like, honestly, y'all better be glad this ain't the barbaric era. I like swords. I got very sharp swords. And I've had to bundle all my crap up and put it out of my sight. I collect knives and swords around the world. I've collected swords around the world. Why? Because I took martial arts. I learned how to use some of that stuff. So after all this, they seized my weapon, and they told me if I had any other weapons to take it, put it out my sight, put it up so I don't get in trouble. So now I got to play this tap dancing game all the way up until my trial date, until I get the charges dropped, because more than likely the charges are going to get dropped just by the way everything was handled, and I kept my cool under the pressure. And because of my background, and I'm in school trying to be a productive citizen, and I'm not going after drugs and nothing stupid, they're going to deal with all that, and they'll get dropped. But guess what? No, I can't say that. Just know that it's a two-way door. Through the legal means, the proper channels. So a lot of people are about to be getting shook up once my situation is done. Like I said, I didn't want to put this out because I was thinking to myself, I don't want these people to know I went to jail. But I was like, you know what? I did everything right. And my lawyer pretty much told me I did everything right. The way I handled myself, even in the moments of pulling out my weapon, ejecting my magazine, never pointing it at him, just warning him off prior to me having to pull it. And I had the right to kill him. They told me with the way we saw on the video, you literally had the right to shoot him. But that would have given them more ammo on their plate to take me through their process, and it would have kept me in jail longer. So, I ain't afraid of prison. It's just like boot camp. I got too much stuff on my plate to be dealing with that, man. So I just wanted to share that with y'all. A lot of y'all are gonna have to deal with people like that. I would say, keep educating yourself. Learn how to handle people. Don't become a victim. And unfortunately, to the people who are walking around with privilege, y'all, we are not our parents and our grandparents. They had to put up with this shit of these racial wars from the 1960s all the way back to the 1900s and all the way back to when slavery's, we got a little bit more leeway. We're getting our options back. A lot of my black people ain't really taking advantage of that because they're still sleeping. But for people like me who are getting educated, I get called dumb black nigger a lot. Now I know I'm not that. And really, the word nigger came from the word negos, N-E-G-U-S, which means king. So remember that. But a lot of y'all with your dumb dialect don't know how to properly pronounce that word, and you get off on demeaning us. So, which brings me to another point. The reason why black people call each other nigger, that's a slang for negos, king. Even if they curse each other, what you doing, nigga? It's like a hood thing. It still has status of like you a tough guy. Like you can handle yours. But the ER, the ravenous ER, I hate you because you're air, That's how this guy was coming at me. In my mind, while I was going through all that, I saw me hanging from a rope, a noose off of a tree or something. And my mind went back through everything that I've studied historically where people were innocently minding their business and got killed. Policemen walking up on people that were white and racist, blowing people away. So all this stuff crosses my mind walking out into the world every day. If it were up to me right now, if I didn't have any children, because they're the only reasons why I am where I am, I wouldn't be living in America right now. And I said this, especially after I got a taste of it out in the world. Somebody's calling my phone. I'm sorry. Some other college is calling for me, but I'm already in college and they're irritating me. They're not getting the hint that I don't want to talk to them. And when I did pick up the phone, they hung up. They're doing that. Like, these people will call you all day to keep them with a job. It's like, oh, I called them, nobody picked up. We'll call them again, okay. And they go home and get paid. Leave me alone. If I ain't pick up your phone call, don't call me. If you ain't leaving no text, and I'll text you, either leave me alone or I'll call you back. I ain't got no business with you. But the world is like, a lot of people in the world, they act like sharks. They'll shark you. But a lot of people are finding out when they deal with me how intelligent I am. And the police department started finding out once they allowed me to talk, after they talked ugly to me and put me through hell. They were trying to provoke me in every direction so that they could keep me longer. Because you know what? Everybody got paid commission off me that came out there, assess that situation, and handcuffed me. They get to go home with a commission. Whether it's $20, $50, $100, like, that's some ugly shit to have to live through. Where you go to freak out of your freaking house, drive your freaking vehicle, drive with your freaking weapons in your trunk that you earn the right to have, after you prove yourself in war for this country. And then people say, oh, thank you for your services. It don't mean nothing when you're trying to explain yourself to people and they're like, oh, well, we got to do what we got to do. And it's just like, are you fucking serious? That makes me mad. I had to waste 2 days. So I missed my midterm exams. 2 days of it, Monday and Tuesday. And I got to get back into my studies. I'm late. With the schedule that I keep with ECPI University, I cannot afford to get thrown off my school schedule. They give us a lot of homework. I got homework today. I'm going back home to do my homework. I'm taking a break. I was going to go Ubering today, but I'm still recovering. Because, like, they put me through a lot. I've gone through some psychological shit, y'all. Of somebody telling me the message that got shot at my head and over my head and across my bow is that we don't care what you did for this country. You won't have the right to have a gun. And before we give you permission to have a gun back after we have seized it, we got to take you through a Buke session. All you wanted to do was come out and get something at the free store that you fought to keep free, and all the other military brothers and sisters that are in service now to keep free. You're not just a regular policeman, and big up to policemen. Y'all do a good job, because I would hate to have to blow a lot of people away trying to bust into my house, trying to rob me. You know how much blood I would have on my doorstep? So I don't hate the police. I just don't like the actions of corrupt cops. Y'all got to be respectful. If you're gonna arrest a person, make sure you do your procedures, just like I followed my procedures with my damn weapon, and I didn't engage this idiot that called me boy, moron, idiot, nigger. Make sure you go through your fucking procedures before you start slapping handcuffs on people. Make sure you slap the right handcuffs on the right person. I had to use chess to think through this whole deal. I don't play checkers. I play chess. I'm thinking 8 and 10 moves out, not one. One would have been like clock, boom. That's one move. That's checkers. My situation was pull, pop, magazine falls out, cock the gun, keep it down at the ground, finger straighten up trigger, dry air fryer. If he would have came and engaged me, gun would have went up, came across him, hit him, and he'd have backed up. If he'd kept coming for me, magazine would have came up, clacked it, then I'm going to shoot. That's what Marines go through. That's how we train. Think through your steps. If you get interrupted, follow up with a freaking knee. Hit him in the side. Hit him again with your freaking elbow. Come back with your gun. Cock it. Shoot. You're not dealing with a dumb person here. You're dealing with a person that has allowed himself to be trained through something over and over again, 4 hours, 4 days. And then you got to freaking go through a test where you got to go through it all quick for like 6 different judges just for them to verify You good. If one of them says, nah, he ain't good, he got to go through it again. Then you got to go through all that shit again. That's how Marines train. We don't just stand around in a pretty uniform with our ribbons and our eagle open anchors and our swords on us looking pretty. We earn that. And we're very proud to earn that. We just don't earn that. We earn all the training that we get. And Marines are remarkable. I got Marines that blow me away. Even when I was in, it's like, damn, you tough like that? And most of them, it came from their childhood. They were tough like that. And they taught me that. I had a little pretty female Marine who was like 4'9", taught me how to shoot turkeys out in the middle of the desert. She took me and a whole bunch of other Marines. She's from Outer Banks, North Carolina. And she was like, my daddy taught me how to shoot turkeys. And we was like, and she was pretty as all get up, y'all. She's a white girl. She was pretty, and I love her to this day. Her and her husband, they got kids. Those are my family. So let me let you know, I don't just be going at the white people like, oh, y'all evil. No, I got some freaking white people that were Marines and other branches that we love the shit out of each other. You know what I mean? And like I said, I want y'all to hear my words because I got a lot of anger in me right now because I literally, in a sideways manner of speaking, got the message that I really don't have no rights even though I went to fight for this country. And the same shit that's happening now happened to my freaking grandfather, my great-grandfather. You know, even my father had to go through that racist crap when he was in the Army. They had skinheads in the Army. That's why I turned away from the Army. I was about to become Army, but they were going through a lot of skinheads killing different race soldiers. Just like you heard about the Hispanic sister that got killed, what was it, 2019? Beautiful Hispanic sister. You know, Marines don't tolerate that, and because Marines are strict, I can roll with that. We might have some cracks, but guess what? We're going to fill them cracks with cement, and it ain't going to happen again. And anybody chipping through that crack, or to make it a crack again, your ass is going to the brig for a very long time. Then if you did something out in the civilian sector, like say like you did a crime out in the civilian section, and the courts have to run you through, and they say, hey, we're going to put 20 years on you. Guess where you're going before that 20 years with the civilian courts? You're going to the Marine Corps brig, and you're going to do 20 years there. Then when you get released from the Marine Corps brig, you're going to go, and they are more brutal. In the civilian jail, you get to kind of lay around all day on your ass and do light work and do whatever you do. In the Marines brig, your ass going to do work. You're going to paint rocks. You're going to break big rocks down to little rocks. You're going to beautify under strict guard. You're going to do everything worse than boot camp. And you got to exercise. And every day they monitoring you. You get the only time you get downtime is when you're sleeping. Even when you have to take a shower, you're being watched. So you got to understand the mindset of where I came away from. And this is the stuff I had to learn. I was a chaser. So I was a person that had to escort Marines that committed a crime to the brig and process them in. And that's a long process. So, you know, other than that, y'all, I just want to make y'all generally aware of what happened. And, you know, because they said I brandished the gun and nobody really checked to see what the offense that I committed would get me 6 months to a year in prison. Just for protecting myself. Well, one, for brandishing the gun. I didn't brandish the gun. I warned somebody off. But now that they've gotten the details of that, I already know what's going to happen. And I'm back to my business of living. Now I will say I'm more afraid to go out anywhere. Because I don't know what kind of wild people are going to come at me. And like I said, I don't need a gun to defend myself. I'll beat somebody ugly. You're going to have to literally kill me. And if I have to lose a limb or break something, then I'm really going to come for you. Even beyond my flesh. When we were both dead, I'm going to come for you so I can beat you every day, put you in hell, then I'm going to come back the next day and beat you ugly while you're in hell and leave. I'll be one of them guardians. I'll walk into hell and tear some shit up. Because I don't like bullies and I do not like injustice, and I just got a mouthful of that in a 3-day period. All right, I'm getting ready to go back home. I'm gonna do some homework. I don't really want to be out in the world right now. I went out in the world for 3 hours and it cost me 2 days of being treated like a prisoner. Like I was pretty much guilty before I even went to a trial. You know, it's very depressing. I already have depression from going to war. I have depression from being in Virginia. I never want to be back on the East Coast. California is the place I ought to be. So I'm loading up my shit and I'm going to move to Beverly. Straight up once I'm done with this. I have no problem with the land of Virginia. But the people who currently reside here, Some of them are some sad little shits. Others are just they're going through it. All right. I won't be speaking on this topic anymore until after my trial is resolved. Then I'll let y'all know the verdict. I'm pretty sure I'm within my rights. If somebody tells me I got to go to jail, then it's going to be a whole lot of people in trouble. There's already going to be some lawsuits pending because a lot of people did things wrong to me. But I just got to go through my stuff first. But yeah, it's very depressing, man. I don't mind telling y'all that I had to wear an Orange County jumpsuit, but I shouldn't have been wearing it. And that's why I'm giving you my details. I know that I can whoop somebody's ass. I don't really have to say much. I don't mind giving somebody lip service, but if you don't disengage from me and you close with on my position, you're forcing me into a situation. And that's what happened on Sunday. Now a whole lot of corrections have to be made because that one guy who was bullying me, and I hate bullies, which is the devil that jumped in him, and then he turned it into a Karen card for his white privilege. He cost me and my family some irritations. And people start looking at you in a different light when you have to be forced to go to jail for protecting yourself. But all they saw was, oh, you went to jail. Yeah, they did that. And the system, unfortunately, is broken. It plays games. Nobody will rightfully talk to you once you get in their system. They start dogging at you. So I had to deal with not only him dogging at me, but people on the inside talking ugly at me. Not all of them. It was just a few assholes. All the white officers were professional, and you know, because I would say white people, y'all normally want to know things. Once they realized who I was, what I was, and why I was there, they was just like, damn. And they was like, this guy shouldn't be here. But the one black officer, sheriff, who talked real ugly to me, he was a young kid, man. I could have fucked him up. You put me and him in a boxing ring, I'd fuck him up because he was a little 5'4" some bitch. He's rolling his eyes at me, shaking his head, dumb as all fucking get up. And I'm thinking to myself, boy, I'm about to be a federal agent. I wonder how you gonna be surrounding at me with all kind of my badge and my gun and just, if you ever get to see that, and all my federal authority. Should I want to go that way? Not knocking police, but man, I'm working hard to get somewhere. Losing sleep. Y'all see the bags under my eyes? Since I started school, I don't get much sleep. On top of that, I have to deal with outside stuff. I just saw a light flash over the horizon. Okay. Something down south in North Carolina. Maybe it was a jet. The sun flickered off of it. Probably was. You know, I had one guy on my video where I showed the planet but next to the sun. He's like, yeah, I was sky gazing myself. Nope, sorry, no planet there. I was like, you dumb mother. Now that I've gotten a taste of having to deal with some bullshit, I'm going to be going back to like a lot of words flying out my mouth, and I'm not going to edit them. Not for the video, but I used to refrain from cursing. Now I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm really tired of this world. This world has tired me out. Stupid people have tired me out. And now that I'm literally going way out of my way to be like a freaking monk and be respectful and stay away from people, and just because I'm into the Asian ways, because that used to be my ancient people's ways. Did you know that ancient black people who were Asian called pygmies taught the Asian people their kung fu? There ain't nothing wrong with it. And Buddha was a black man. Did y'all know that? Y'all world's about to get a whole lot ugly. All this history that y'all learn about in school, y'all about to find out a whole lot of stuff that's going to make you fall over sideways. And you're going to find out that the black people civilized this entire world. But then once they killed off our chiefs and Indians and rebooted from the little kids that were just born, that they raped from little babies and made them feel like nothing. And they got told that you're just a slave who was swinging from a fucking tree. But my people, that's my complexion and light, dark, brown, whatever, civilized this whole planet. That's what I've been learning lately. Now I'm about to let all that out because it's really fucked up that I just started learning this stuff, and the books have been hidden from the from the people who wrote scrolls, my ancient ancestors. Somehow the Vatican and the popes that have come down through history got a hold of all that. And they got 50 miles of that hidden up under their Vatican that was written. That's like if you wrote a paper and it was so elaborate, or you came up with an invention that was so like beyond this world. Like if you made your own nuclear arc reactor that gives free energy, and the government comes and takes it from you and don't let you, they put you in jail because that's happened to inventors or they came out dead. Like that's effed up because now you advance yourself beyond the standard means of a situation. I'm just kind of just blown away, man, because like the world, I'm transcending and advancing, and the world's still going around these little circles. The people that do mean, dumb stuff. So y'all can't keep up with me. My subscribers, y'all are highly intelligent. At least y'all asking. We're getting there together. I ain't leading nobody. I'm just showing you what I'm seeing. But when I have this guy came up and said, "Nope, I was stargazing last night. I didn't see any planet by the sun." Well, first of all, you got the wrong freaking equipment. You didn't try to elaborate like what you use. So therefore, you're trying to heckle me. And I would say, first of all, fuck you directly. You can stay on my page or not, but fuck you. Second of all, I'm not the only source seeing that damn sun. I saw that shit up there early last year. Did a video on it. Go back through my damn videos, you'll see it. Now, go over to Alex's channel, Planet X Hunters. He's showing you the videos from NASA's Soho satellite. You dumb motherfuckers. Go to Gina Marie Colvin's videos. You'll see the same thing. Dumb motherfuckers. Like, stop playing with people. This is about to be the fucking end of the world. And you fucking people sitting here playing games. We're trying to show y'all something. We don't have to. The end of the world is near. The fucking earth is going to swallow up and swallow some of you people who don't deserve to live here. And you're trying to come over and scoff me like I'm just sitting around here playing fuckboy games. Y'all got me fucked up. Do you hear me? I have a bit of a temper right now. Not because somebody irritated me, but the world is stuck. Racism. People hiding people's information. Government throwing threats. COVID-19. People on lockdown. People acting stupid. People run up on me like I'm a fucking bitch and a punk and I won't fuck you up. I came this close to killing somebody. Am I psychologically irritated? Am I crazy? No. I'm more mad that I didn't fucking end that situation my way. But I have to think through this situation. This is getting sick, y'all. I pray every day for the end of the world. You know why? Because I'm ready for some types of people just to go the fuck away. All the ones that's really trying to be about the business of God first and foremost and really get along with each other, y'all can stay so we can help each other. No corrupt people should be here after God comes to try to screw this off. It should be a freaking mandate that anybody that turns corrupt doing stupid stuff needs to be immediately killed. Out of here. No go to jail. We don't need this no more. This is done. People lying to people. People looking at me like I ain't shit because I got brown skin. This is what I have to deal with, y'all. Every day. Even before I got to this idiot that lied on me. Know how many times I've been called nigger in Virginia? And some people are like, oh, it's all right. It happens to the best of us. No, fuck you. That shit never happened to me. I like to fight motherfuckers. Even as a kid. You call me a stupid name? I beat your ass. Ask some of my classmates. Some of them are dead because they was just stupid and got into drugs. But a lot of my homies would say, yo, that dude didn't play. I was like a little Bruce Lee. I wanted to make you feel that fire. I don't mind using colorful metaphors, but like, we're not about to play this game with me, buddy. I'll rearrange the whole fucking universe on people. Do I think I'm bad? No. I'm just well trained, man. And I'm smart. Very intelligent. And I'm just now learning where my people got forced off of their path. How some of them forced themselves off the path and we're having to put up with their shit. And the people that God said, y'all can only kill off this amount, went and killed more. Now we had slavery. Now we have, oh, if you're black, you're dangerous. Before we was black, we was colored. Before we was colored, we was Negro, African American, Afro American, monkeys. But we ain't even none of that stuff. We're Aboriginal Native Americans. I'm one of the true Native Americans from America. My people ain't come over on no slave ship. You know who they came over with? Moses. Look it up in the Bible. I'm one of the 12 tribes of the Hebrew Israelites. And a whole lot of other black people. Just cause they ass lost, just cause they look black, just cause they acting black, that's not black. Do you know that a lot of black people that were ancient back then spoke very freaking eloquently? They didn't speak that street shit, that hood. So when you hear me speak and elaborate, regardless if I have a flat tone, or if you hear me elaborate and use some word like conducive or, tachypsychia or centrifugal, I know what those words mean. I know what other words mean. My son's vocabularies are bigger than mine. My son, my second J, I ain't gonna give you their full names. My first one, he's got a big vocabulary too. He gives speeches. He's been giving speeches for a long time, and that's thanks to my parents, because my parents are educators and they're with my parents. But I knew they were gonna be very intelligent, so I'm a very proud father. I got good genes in me. My granddaddy, my mama's daddy, tell you, I got good genes in me, and he was a pretty dude. My granddaddy, my mama's daddy was Cherokee Indian and black. He looked like Duke Ellington, but he was original. He had to put no conch in his hair. He had that curly hair. And my son, my second J son, looked just like his great granddaddy. You know, we call him Little Buddy. My granddaddy's name was Buddy. My dad's granddaddy, my dad's father, awesome man. He was beautiful. So I got to witness all of my ancestors, my grandparents, and these people are beautiful, and I miss them. Even my current family. A lot of them are pissed off at me, but they know I love them. A lot of them, once they find out that I'm not a bad person and God's going to have to explain it to them, they're probably going to fall over and try to, really beg my pardon. But a lot of family, I lost a lot of family to this situation that's going to slowly be fixed, and I just kind of left it in God's hands. But my family all knows that I love them. Some of them thinking I'm a devil, but I'm not. I'm a devil to a devil. Satan's scared of God, and Satan thinks God is a devil. So if you're a devil out here acting like a little unjust devil, then I'll be an even bigger devil to scare that devil out of you and own your devil ass. Call me God. God body. All right. I don't care if you think harsh of me with this video. It's been running for an hour and 41 minutes, but I had to speak on this because I'm very frustrated. After this, I'll be resuming back to my regular videos. I haven't seen any planets in the sky since October because they have shifted. I think they're in an elliptical orbit where they're kind of leaving away from us. Then they're going to come back. But this big planet is over by the sun or around the back of it. It might be a brown star, might be a planet. It can't be a moon, but it's there. And these people up here playing these games like, oh, there's nothing by the sun. I didn't see anything. Maybe you're blind as fuck. I don't care. But by the time all this comes, you're going to remember Third Eye Cam. You're going to remember that brown guy who said, hey, with his intelligent ass, look at this. What is this? We're all trying to figure this out. I didn't say it was that official. And so you can't come at me unless you've done your own thorough research, or you get some astrophysicist or some NASA astronaut or somebody with a freaking Lucifer telescope to look up in the sky and tell me that damn thing ain't there. Other than that, you can shut the fuck up. War's about to jump off. World War III. 82nd Airborne just deployed some of their people over to Ukraine. We're about to have our third World War. There's a lot more going on that your government ain't telling you. I personally feel like with these UFO sightings, that those are the chariots of God, and that God is ordering people that don't belong on my land, this American land, pack your shit up and leave. Because when I come through, your life is going to end. I'm still going to judge you on the long end, but I'm going to allow you to live out your life. And when you die, then you're going to come see me, and I'm going to judge you straight to hell, or see if you're worthy to stay in whatever we call a heaven. However, that's set up beyond my means of knowing. I'm still learning. But I think a lot of people are being ordered off the land because the reward should have been started a long time ago. And for all we know, that's probably what they're telling y'all, but they're probably ordering people off land, and that's going to be the fighting scene. So it could be Russia, America, and everybody else jumping in, looking like they're about to point their guns at each other, but as soon as something drop out of the sky, guns up, shoot. This might be their alien invasion, which is God coming down. Think about that. Because people getting more and more foolish. I'll tell you what. And I'm going to say this straight up. I'm going to be low-keyed. I ain't going to bother nobody because I don't bother nobody already. I'm a very confident man. Very confident brown man. I'm a very confident Marine. I'm confident in anything I pursue. But if anybody's dumbass jumps at me and puts me into a corner where they're going to kill me, I'm just going to have to end their existence. I ain't going through this shit no more. And that's just going to be more people for me to have to sue for handling me illegally. You all right? And I've always said that my entire life. This ain't nothing new to me. I've been going through this shit for 7 years. Getting told I'm a dumb black nigger. I'm a nigger. What you gonna do, nigger? I hate you, boy. I hate you, nigger. This ain't the first time. I just don't put it out there. My fuse is already shot. So the next time somebody runs up on me with some stuff, the bomb's just gonna go off in your face. Y'all think it's cool to see people get killed? Don't look at me bad if I have to do that, man, because I don't want to do that. First of all, I already done did stuff like that for this country. I'm tired of that stuff. You know what I mean? All right, Lord, I can. We out of here. Poof.